Blackchurch Print Studio was founded in 1981. Originally we were in industrial spaces in Ardee Street, Cork Street, that sort of area, which is more or less the traditional industrial printing area. So we started off as a collective set up by artist printmakers with print. Obviously, the size of the equipment and the toxicity in the past of some of the materials you would use, it makes sense for you to form a collective and actually do it in a designated space rather than try and do it in your own studio. And in 1989-90, we burnt our building down. Unfortunately, it was with nature of the process as well. Again, printmaking at the time was very lots of noxious chemicals, and one thing and another, we burnt the studio down. It turned out to be quite fortuitous. It was during the whole time they were redeveloping Temple Bar, and they already had photography, they had film, they had fine art, and we were the print element. So one of our members and an architect worked together to design a purpose-built print studio, which is unusual in that most print studios still tend to be in sort of co-opted industrial spaces. So we've been here in this building since 93, 94, and I mean it's works quite well for us. How Blackchurch works is we've 70 members. Each member pays a yearly fee, and that gives them 24-hour access to the building and to all the facilities, including technical support, opportunities, exhibition opportunities, funding opportunities, and just we sort of conglomerate all those things here and feed them out to the members.
My name's Jennifer Cunningham, and I've been a printmaker in the Blackchurch Print Studio for a number of years now. I enjoy being a printmaker here because it gives me a chance to mix with other artists, and there's a real community here as well. The Blackchurch offers a wide range of diverse printmaking facilities such as lithography, screen printing, but what I specialise in is etching here, and I'm going to produce a print for us today to have a look at. Basically, the way I produce the plate is I cover the plate with wax, as you can see here, and I scrape away the wax to produce a line, and then I immerse the plate in acid, and where the metal is exposed, the acid will actually bite down and it'll form a very fine groove, and that's how you get your image here. You use different times in the acid to produce very fine lines, and for deep lines you'll leave it in for much longer. Basically what you do when you produce an etching is you cover the entire plate with ink, rubbing the ink right down into the grooves of the plate, making sure that you get it into all those lines. You can see the image here gradually appearing. So I've taken off most of the ink now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wipe off the plate so that it has a small amount of plate tone left. The ink would be embedded in the grooves of the plate, and as you can see, the smooth surface of the plate doesn't actually retain the ink at all. Just wipe the edges of the ink off as well. It's actually quite a difficult process, I think, because there's so much that can actually go wrong. A print can easily be ruined by thumbprint, or by leaving it in the acid for too long. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my paper, I'm going to dry it, and until it's very slightly damp. The reason why I soak the paper is because what it does is it actually softens the fibres and allows them to actually get into the grooves in the plate. And when it gets into the grooves in the plate, it actually picks up the ink, and that's how your etching is produced. I'm going to get my paper and I'm going to actually place it over the actual plate, and then we're going to run it through the press, and you'll be able to see the print on the other side. And that's when you keep your fingers crossed, and fingers crossed it does work out for you, you know. At the moment I'm just trying to square up and place the paper over the etching plate, so it's exactly square. I've just dried it, and it has to be a specific level of dampness. It can't be too wet, because if it's too wet the ink won't want the paper, and if it's too dry the paper won't pick up the ink either. So the rolling mechanism here exerts enormous pressure onto the back of the plate, and what that does is it forces the ink from the grooves of the etching plate out onto the paper. Okay. What you can see here is an exact reverse of the plate. So if I hold the two of them up here for you, you can see when you produce an etching, everything comes out exactly in reverse. So you always get this nice chance element of surprise with the work, because you're never quite sure what you're going to get at the end of the day. And a lot of artists really like that, you know. There's quite a number of things that can go wrong. It can be quite a frustrating process, but you get really nice chance happenings as well, which can be very rewarding. Some artists actually really enjoy that sort of chance element, and they deliberately try and set up incidences where you get chance things happening. And some printmakers are a bit more controlled. And I'm kind of a mix of the two.
As to Culture Night, normally what we would do is we would have rolling tours. Last year I think we had about 300-400 people come through the building on the night. Normally how it works is we will have a demo on each floor. Usually we'd start off with a screen printing demo, an etching demo and a lithography demo. So we'll give a tour of the building and one of our members will demonstrate one of the processes. Depends on what time you come at. It could be screen or etching or lithography, but you will get a demo on the night. Generally it's quite busy. Yeah, as I said, we had the 400 people coming through the building last year. A lot of people don't realise we're actually here because we're on the first floor, but it's well worth a visit on the night.